Here we've just started working on a garden in Woodley, and the garden suffers with water coming in from the left hand side and from the rear of the garden. Here you can see on the left hand side of the garden that we've created a trench, we're going to put the land drain in it, and the water that comes in from that side of the garden is going to be collecting the land drain and sent to the rear of the garden. The customer had already excavated a trench at the rear of the garden which had filled with water, and that's the spoil that you can see left from digging out the trench, and they'd also removed the grass at the rear of the garden. This is drone footage showing the rear of the garden and some of the trenches running towards the rear of the garden, and also there's a blue pipe that's running away from the pump which is taking water from the pump to the surface drains of the house. This is the second day we were on site. It started snowing. It just continued to snow for 2 days. We tried to work through this, but eventually just gave up, left the job for 2 days, and then we were back there 2 days after we'd stopped, and went back and all the snow had gone. Here's the third and final day on site. We're starting to fill the rear of the garden. You see that we've taken the spoil that's been excavated out of the drain away, and we've started to topsoil the rear of the garden, and we're adding turf over the top of the topsoil. Here's an aerial picture of the garden so that you can see where we're moving backwards and forwards. You can see down the right hand side of or the left hand side of the garden where we've dug the trenches and we're about to relay the turf on top of the trenches. The turf has been turf cut and is rolled up along the edge of the trenches, just waiting for us to finish so that we can relay the original turf along the top of the trenches. Drone footage shows where the trench runs into the rear of the garden, and on the right hand side you can see some land drain pipe and some 25mm blue pipe that we run water with from away from that with our pumps. You can also see that there's a black lid to the middle of the right hand side of the picture, where the pump's actually underneath that black lid. We're starting to bring up the level with some draining soil, and then we're going to start laying fresh grass on top of this.